Tropical Storm Paulette has formed in the Atlantic today at 17.2 degrees north, 42.2 degrees west. It is a weaker storm, and on satellite here you can see convection has been waning, but it did have a pretty big convective burst earlier, as you can see there, with lots of minus 70s. All this as of 11 a.m. AST this September the 7th. Getting into the latest on this storm, it has winds of 40 miles per hour and a pressure of 1,005 millibars. That's also 65 kilometers per hour for those of you that are in the metric system. It's moving west-northwest at about 3 miles per hour, so very slowly, but that movement will likely pick up over the coming days. And when it comes to the CDPS scale, we have no CDPS rating at this time. Reason for that being, the storm isn't expected to impact land. So what's the storm looking like right now? You can see all that current information there on the upper right corner, but you can see that wind field is extremely small on this storm, with those tropical storm force winds not even extending really 50 miles away from the center. So, very, very small wind field on this system right now on Paulette. So, how's this storm looking when it comes to land impacts? Well, it's quite far away from any land that it could possibly impact in the future, and it has no watches and warnings on it. All good news there. But it is about 1,230 miles away from Bridgetown. From Roseu, it's about 1,305 miles away. It's about 1,405 miles away from Port of Spain. It's about 1,595 miles away from San Juan, and from Santo Domingo, it's about 1,866 miles away. So when it comes to the intensity estimate, Force 13 is running with literally every single other intensity estimate that is out there right now at 40 miles per hour. ADT, RAM, multi-platform, and NHC all agree with a 40 mile per hour maximum sustained wind speed. So that's what we're running with here. Alright, well here's the NHC's cone of uncertainty, and you can see that movement's going to be pretty slow for the next day or so before things do begin to speed up. And then on days 4 and 5, you can see it moving really into the central Atlantic there. But no land areas are expected to be impacted within the next 5 days. Definitely good news. When it comes to the rainfall forecast for the next 7 days, we continue to see that land is not expected to really be impacted with any rain whatsoever within the next 7 days. So while pretty heavy rainfall, with some areas exceeding 16 inches of rain in the open Atlantic are possible, we're not going to be seeing any of that over land, and that's definitely good news. Well, how are sea surface temperatures looking like? Well, we are seeing sea surface temperatures of around 26 to 27, and even on that southern side, 27 to 28 degrees Celsius. So the storm's looking pretty good right now when it comes to sea surface temperatures, and that's going to continue to not be a problem for it. When it comes to chances of tropical storm force winds, you can see that right here. No land areas are actually within those chances of tropical storm force winds in the next 5 days, as you can see. And as we get to the end, you can see those leeward islands just a little bit, but those aren't actually within any chances there. So you can see no land areas are within any chances whatsoever of tropical storm force winds from the system. When it comes to hurricane force winds, it's the same general thing. You can see that small area of green, 5 to 10%. But overall, it's quite unlikely that this storm will become a hurricane. NHC only forecasting a tropical storm peak right now, I believe around 60 miles per hour. So what are models saying? Well, when it comes to the intensity forecast, they're seeing a peak realistically of about 65 miles per hour maximum, some not even peaking it to 50. So there's definitely a little bit of a model spread, with no models at this time taking it to hurricane intensity. When it comes to wind shear, this explains a little bit of it. Wind shear is going to look pretty good for this storm over the next day or so, but after that, wind shear goes up quite a bit and is quite unfavorable by the time we get to days 3, 4, and 5. So odds are the storm will be weakening by then. When it comes to other conditions, sea surface temperatures will slowly be rising. That's a benefit. Your mid-level relative humidity will be about the same. So it looks like the storm will generally be on a weakening trend after day 3, as we are going to be seeing wind shear increasing markedly. Well, when it comes to the current satellite appearance, when we take a bigger deep dive into it, you can see clearly there's a low-level circulation, some healthy inflow bands there on the southeastern side. You can see some healthy poleward outflow there as well. So the storm definitely has the channels it would need to intensify, but odds of rapid intensification right now are low, and the odds of this achieving hurricane status right now are below 50%. You can follow our outlets. First of all, the website, force13.com, with new articles coming out all the time for your reading pleasure about all things weather. YouTube.com/force13 with our tropical weather bulletins, animations, and tropical updates. You can also find us on Facebook with more information on those things. And then also on Twitter. We have the US branches and AU branches on there as well, but you can see the URL below. Teespring.com/store/force13. That's where you can find things like the Smug Mug to buy. And finally, the Patreon. Patreon.com/Force13, where you can support the project and help it become even better.